She had lived in silence her entire life, never speaking a single word, not to her teachers, not even to her father. A millionaire's mansion, endless wealth, yet nothing could unlock her voice. But one afternoon, everything changed. He walked in, furious, ready to fire the black nanny he never trusted. What he saw stopped him cold. His silent daughter was singing, and with whom she sang revealed more than just a voice. It exposed a truth about prejudice he could no longer ignore. The question is, what happens when love breaks the silence but racism tries to crush it? In the heart of a mansion that gleamed with marble floors and gold-framed portraits lived a little girl whose silence echoed louder than any sound. She was the daughter of a wealthy businessman, a man who believed money could solve every problem. Doctors, therapists, expensive tutors, nothing had worked. To most, she was a mystery, even to her own father. To him, silence was weakness, and he hated it almost as much as he hated the woman he reluctantly allowed into his home, the black nanny. Hired against his will, she was meant to be a temporary solution. To him, she was beneath his world of power and privilege. But to the little girl, she was something different. Gentle hands, warm smiles, stories whispered with rhythm and care. Day by day, the nanny's soft songs filled the quiet halls, and though no one noticed, something began to stir inside the child. The father had no idea. But soon, that silence he thought would last forever was about to break. The days stretched long and silent, the little girl drifting like a shadow through glittering halls. But where her father saw emptiness, the nanny saw possibility. She hummed lullabies while brushing hair, whispered songs while folding clothes. She never pushed. She simply gave the girl patience, love, and a safe place to listen. And slowly, the silence shifted. A hum, a giggle, the shape of words that never fully came. The nanny's heart soared at each small change, but she kept it secret. She knew the father wouldn't understand. Then one afternoon, it happened. As the nanny sang softly while folding laundry, the girl appeared in the doorway. Her lips moved, her voice trembled. For the first time in her life, sound escaped her silence, a fragile hum, shaky but real. The nanny froze, her eyes filling with tears. She had done it. She had unlocked what no one else could. But a shadow fell across the hall. Her father. At first, his face twisted in disbelief, then in fury. His daughter's first sound, her first connection, and it wasn't with him. It wasn't even with someone he respected. It was with the black nanny he despised. That night, the house felt colder. His glares burned with resentment, and the little girl, sensing the storm, grew quiet again. But the nanny refused to give up. Day after day, she sang again, and day after day, the girl responded a little more. Until one evening, the father snapped. He stormed into the room, catching them mid-song, his daughter glowing with joy, the nanny's voice strong and warm. "Enough," he growled. And in that moment, the air froze. His fists clenched, his voice roared. "How dare you? My daughter? Her first words, her first voice given to you? Do you think you belong here? Do you think you're better than me?" The nanny's chest tightened. She had endured his insults, his scorn, his contempt. But this was more than hate. It was fear. Fear that the woman he looked down on had succeeded where his wealth had failed. The little girl's eyes welled with tears. She clung to the nanny's dress. And then, a word broke free, fragile, trembling, but undeniable. "Papa." The room fell silent. For the first time, she had spoken. The father's rage faltered. But instead of joy, shame consumed him. Not pride, not relief, but shame that it wasn't him who unlocked her voice. Shame that the love he withheld, the humanity he buried under pride, was given by the one person he refused to value. His voice shook, Get out. Out of my house. Out of her life. The nanny's heart broke. She wanted to fight, but she knew the danger. To challenge him meant losing everything. So she stood in silence, holding the girl one last time. The child sobbed, clutching her tighter. Then her voice cracked again, stronger now. No! No! And in that single word, the mansion's silence shattered forever. The nanny walked out that night, tears in her eyes, the little girl's cries echoing through the halls. For a moment, the silence returned. But something had changed. A voice had been found. And once a voice is discovered, it cannot be taken away. The father sat alone, drowning in pride and regret. He had witnessed a miracle, but his prejudice blinded him from embracing it. Deep inside, he knew the truth. The woman he dismissed, disrespected, and devalued had given his daughter what he never could. For the nanny, it was painful, but it was also a victory. She had planted courage in a child who once lived in silence. No matter what the father chose to see, that bond could never be erased. But this story is more than one family's struggle. It's about us, about a world where too often those with darker skin are treated as less, even when they carry the power to heal, to teach, to change lives. The question isn't just whether one little girl found her voice, it's whether we will find ours. How many more voices will be silenced by racism before the world finally listens? The little girl spoke. Now it's our turn.